I just created a Twitter, so if you want to be updated about my general, pun intended, thoughts, follow me at GK on YouTube. A while back, I told you about the safest countries in the world, according to the Global Peace Index. Today, a different look. The happiest countries in the world in 2019, according to the World Happiness Report. It's released by the Sustainable Development Solutions Network for the United Nations. Now, there's a big issue with this, which is how do you measure happiness? Even if you can quantify certain indicators, they might mean happiness to whoever was inquired, but everybody else might disagree. Something that makes me happy might not make someone else happy as well. Either way, this report presents us with a ranking of countries of the world according to the happiness of their citizens, and they base this on a few factors: income, freedom, trust, healthy life expectancy, social support, and generosity, plus emotional measures of well-being, the most subjective factor and sometimes the most important one. Each country on the list is ranked according to individual rankings in these factors. The smallest the number, the best the result. In this video, I'll take a look at the top 10 happiest countries and a few interesting positions along the way, as well as a quick look at the 10 least happy countries in the world. Anyway, let's get started. The 10th happiest country in the world, according to this report, is Austria. It ranks 31 in social support, 26 in freedom, 19 in trust, 25 in generosity, 16 in income, and 15 in the life expectancy, which is their best result. If you're thinking, wait, those are all above 10, so how does it get 10 overall? It's because of the combination of all of them. Only 9 other countries have a better combo of all factors. Also, keep in mind, the rankings of the factors like social support aren't, I think, stating that Austria has the 31st best social support in the world. I think it is stating that the Austrian people have the 31st best opinion of their own social support when compared to the opinion of other countries' citizens. Austria doesn't get amazing results on these, so I think their position as number 10 also comes from the emotional measures. At number 9, we get Canada. The 37+ million Canadians have a pretty positive look on how things work in their country. They are at number 20 in social support, only behind some European nations. They are number 9 in freedom, 11 in trust perception, 14 in generosity, 19 on income, and 8th in life expectancy, which surprised me. Their best results are in this and freedom, which means they have one of the highest life expectancies in the world, or at least quality-wise. Next, with number 8, New Zealand. If you remember the other video, it's the second safest country in the world. It ranks 5 in social support, 8 in freedom, 5 in trust, 8 in generosity, 26 in income, and 14 in life expectancy. I'm somewhat surprised they're not higher up on the list with these scores, but maybe emotionally they don't feel as happy. Their best results are in social support and trust, only lacking behind on the income part, but again, I'm not even sure how this is measured, if it's literally just the GDP per capita or people's perception on how sufficient their income is based on the GDP, but it has something to do with that. Plus, I think the fact that they have Hobbiton highly contributes to the overall happiness. Then we enter the Scandinavian happy zone, with Sweden at number 7. It ranks 25th in social support, 10th in freedom, 6th in trust, the best one of their factors, 17 in generosity, 13 in income, and 17 as well in the life expectancy. It seems as if the almost 10 million Swedes trust each other a lot, being fairly satisfied with all of these other factors, as well as being emotionally happy. Plus, they have IKEA meatballs, so coming out of the Nordic area briefly, but to an also pretty cold country, and with a similar name, we get number 6, the eternal neutral land, Switzerland. Having a neutral identity maybe has contributed to Swiss happiness throughout history. I'm guessing not being involved in wars probably helps in not being worried. It ranks 13 in social support, 11 in freedom, 7 in trust, 16 in generosity, 8 in income, and 4th in life expectancy and quality. Some very high scores on income, trust, and quality of life. Switzerland ranks high in these, but I think there's probably other factors that contribute to their happiness. For instance, political participation is very high in Switzerland. They tend to have the opportunity to vote in referendums about a lot of topics. This importance that is given to the population and the power to decide on the way their life is regulated might contribute to being happier. Opening the top 5. The Netherlands. With just over 17 million people, the spice enthusiast, flower-loving population of the Netherlands are apparently very happy. It ranks 15 in social support, 19 in freedom, 12 in trust, 7th in generosity, 12 in income, and 18 in life expectancy. And hey, maybe the fact that they are literally the tallest people in the world helps them in this as well. I mean, I'm just saying, but being able to always reach those high shelves must be pretty good. Before moving on to number 4, let's take a quick look at the evolution of general happiness in each continent over the past 12 years. In Europe, the level of happiness has somewhat maintained itself, with a few ups and downs. However, the current level is less than it was in 2006 and has been going down since 2014. The happiest European country is Finland, and the least happy is the Ukraine. North America has had weird ups and downs, but has shown a recent tendency of improvement, with Canada being first at number 9 worldwide, like we saw, and the US being in 19th place. Mexico isn't really North America, more central, but it's also close by, ranking at 23. Latin America and the Caribbean has gone way up, a good sign that shows us they have, in general, been happier in the past years. Costa Rica is the happiest in this region, and Haiti is the most unhappy. Asia shows a similar tendency, improving a lot over the years. South Asia had a pretty big fall in 2016. I have no idea what happened there, but they now seem to have recovered. Taiwan gets number 1 inside Asia, while Afghanistan is last. Africa also shows a steady increase, despite a lot of the least happy countries on this list being African, like we'll see in a minute. On this document, Africa includes the Middle East, so the happiest country are the United Arab Emirates, while South Sudan gets the last place in the African continent. And from here on out, it's all Nordic, starting with Iceland at 4th place. It ranks 1st in social support, 7th in freedom, 45th in trust, 3rd in generosity, 15th in income, and 13 in life expectancy. It's important to note that the report's definition of trust also includes the perception of corruption in society. I think this is the case for Iceland. It's not so much that they don't trust each other, but they have a big perception of other types of corruption in their country. But I guess it doesn't stop them from being generous and happy overall. Iceland distinguishes itself from the other countries on the top 10 because it's the only one that gets 1st place on a specific factor: social support. We should also note that it was deemed the most peaceful and safest country in the world this same year, something that probably adds to the feeling of happiness. Getting the bronze medal in happiness, Norway. Norway ranks 3rd in social support, 3rd in freedom, 8th in trust, 11 in generosity, 7 in income, and 12th in life expectancy. Social support and freedom seem like the factors of most importance when it comes to happiness in Norway. One thing that's curious about the fact that Nordic countries are so high up on this list. A lot of times we have that idea that areas with better climate, so more sun and less cold and snow, are happier because of this. But it seems that in a lot of cases that isn't true, or at least for Nordic regions, the cold weather isn't negative enough to counter the other good things that they have that make their quality of life positive. In 2nd place, Denmark. Denmark is a pretty small country in Northern Europe. It has around 5.7 million people, and according to this document, they're all pretty happy. It ranks number 4 in social support, number 6 in freedom, 3rd in trust, 22nd in generosity, 27th in income, and 26th in life expectancy. This means its population is very happy about their social support, freedom, and thinks there isn't much corruption in their society, as well as trusting each other a lot. They do, however, rank surprisingly mid-table in the other 3 factors, something that again is probably compensated by the emotional aspect and the other 3 very high scores. And finally, the happiest country in the world in 2019, Finland. It ranks number 2 in social support, 5 in freedom, 4 in trust, 47th in generosity, 22nd in income, and 26th in life expectancy, with a much worse result on generosity than those that rank behind it, like Denmark or Norway. It seems as if this isn't a big factor when it comes to determining who's happier, at least according to Finland. Maybe it's the Northern Lights or having Lapland with Santa Claus's year-round home, who knows? But it's good to see that they are a very happy people. This ranking reports on 156 countries. Their bottom 10 countries, so the least happy in the world, are Zimbabwe, Haiti, Botswana, Syria, Malawi, Yemen, Rwanda, Tanzania, Afghanistan, the Central African Republic, and South Sudan in the last place. It's very interesting to see the countries with the biggest changes, so the countries which became happier in the past year. Some of these were Benin, Bulgaria, Slovakia, or Ecuador, and some that sadly became more unhappy, like Venezuela, Botswana, India, and Greece. We also have a few interesting positions throughout the ranking that surprised me by being so unhappy considering how developed the country is, or vice versa, like Portugal, the 3rd safest country in the world, and a substantially developed country ranking only at number 66 in happiness, behind countries like Kazakhstan at number 60 and Kuwait at number 51, or South Korea, an incredibly developed country with one of the world's highest GDP and quality of life, ranking at number 54 only. On the other hand, I was surprised that a country like Brazil, which has gone through a lot of economic and social difficulties lately, ranks at number 32, something that maybe speaks to the positivity and good spirit of its people. So that was a brief look at what this report considers are the happiest countries in the world in 2019. If you want to check out the report, I'll leave the link in the description. Again, I don't know what goes into the factors and the ranking. Maybe they're not too certain, and even if they are, perceptions vary a lot. So the inquired might not be an accurate representation of the entire population due to the subjectiveness of the topic. Furthermore, even if you asked every person of the best country with a basic universal income, free healthcare and education, and zero crime, they still might say they're less happy than a country with none of those things. And it might be true because of the emotional aspect. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to leave your opinions in the comments. Do you agree with the ranking, and what do you think about trying to measure something so subjective as happiness? Subscribe if you want to catch future videos, and I will see you next time.